Happy February 9th. That's what this show is.
Yeah. Well, how do
know that?
How do you really feel, Jenny? That's right. Well, as Jenny said, welcome everyone to Coffee and Pandusi. I'm Christian Cano, one of your co-hosts, along with Jenny Gunn and Barbara Bacon and Momma Ruth. We want to welcome you. Today is February the 9th, our second Wednesday of February. We have two more shows in February. Then we'll start March and so on and so on. We do want to thank everyone who's joining us on Facebook Live, but also those who join us on YouTube, who watch us visually on Facebook Live and YouTube, and then also on Facebook later, but also those who now watch or listen to us on your favorite audio podcast platform like Google, Amazon, Spotify, all of the others, podcasts, all the other ones, Apple.
Isn't it ironic?
About our three current events that we made up right before the show. Jenny and I, we spare no. Anyway, we have a phenomenal research. Exactly. But we put a lot of emphasis on it this month. Republican Party mocked after bragging a record 40 Republican black candidates running for office in America out of 7,500 officials. That comes to 0.5%. Only 0.5% of their candidates are black. Topics. So, Jenny, I know I can see your face. If you're listening to this, you just got to see Jenny's.
Listen to this. You would see my facial expression. First of all, smiling. Second of all, dying to respond to the last of the topics. I will take the last one first. Well, essentially, that's all the black Republicans in the United States. Those 40 or so. It's a very monochromatic party. It's not a big tent party like the Democrats. A Joe Manchin and an AOC in the same party. And they work in the same building, literally. So diversity is not a hallmark of the Republican Party. Like diversity means they probably have 40 black folks running for office. Probably one or two Jewish people, and maybe a few women, as long as they carry guns and hate the gays.
That was a great explanation because the way I view it, and I'm a simpleton, so I look at things very, very simple. I look at the people who are supporting the filibuster, just like I look at the people who are supporting whatever it is, and then I look at the people who are against it, and I think, what's in it for them and what's in it for them? And when you look at the people who are supporting the filibuster, it's usually old white racist guys, people like Joe Manchin, Sinema, Mitch McConnell, people who don't. Well, I'm just trying to at least when you scratch them, what else do they support? They also support hating transgender people, hating gay people. They also support hating people at the border. They also support a lot of things that impact Latinx families. So
they hate that pesky clean water and clean air.
Yeah, exactly.
They hate our climate and our planet.
Yes, and so then I look at the people who are against the filibuster, and these are people who are fighting for affordable health care for all of us, affording for women's rights to afford for Latinx people to not be marginalized, for us not to be second-class citizens, to get us on a level. So I look at those, and it's very simple to me. Apparently, the people who want the filibuster are people who want to keep Latinx people down, and the people who are against the filibuster are people that want to lift us up. So to me, it's a no-brainer. Look at the people who are supporting something. Whenever Ted Cruz supports something, I know it's probably a dumbass idea. So, more often is that fair? So Jenny, I know we're digressing, but I have to throw this in because I don't know when I can throw this one in. I've always been so embarrassed that the two people that were running that year to represent Hispanic men, Latinos, Latinx men, whatever term you want to use, right. Macho were the two gayest Latin people in America, Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio. And I was like, oh my God, this is like the example that we want to give to.
We have full disclosure, closet, effeminate, highly emotional.
Exactly. I meant, yes. The biggest drama queens.
I mean, just big old queens. And I mean, you talk about either the Republican Party or any party, there's studs and duds. Yeah. And those two were duds. Like, there were a horrible representation for Republicans, and like, when they got out,
and so they're finding a bunch of stuff out. So then I start thinking about us, because we're dropping. We only got about 5 minutes left. We're dropping all of our shows from the last 3 years, and as we're dropping them, and I thought, one day I'm confident we'll be picked up, either this one or the second show, and people will go back and they'll look at some of the things, and they'll find that clip where I actually use that word that you were talking about earlier, and I remember your face afterwards. Oh, don't use it. And they'll probably play that and ask me, how dare you? And my response is going to be, I planted it because I just wanted to have some controversy.
Well, full disclosure, you're no stranger to controversy.
That's no, exactly.
I love you, but and I'm not going to repeat what happened.
Oh yeah, I know.
But let's just say that my partner in crime here, got himself a little hot water on something he said. And it happens to the best of us. And you've spent, I think, to your credit, there's something to be said for a very humble, healing apology, and asking for forgiveness, and asking for, and I'm not a person of faith, but I do believe that sometime in your life, the earlier the better, the more you get used to opening yourself up and being that vulnerable to people, whether it's one-on-one or to 100 million people. Okay. I think that ability, is just powerful. I think it's just powerful. And it would do him a world of good. And we don't see be a better man for it.
And we don't see that. And I do it the next couple of weeks. I think his window is shrinking and shrinking. It's probably, I would think, maybe another week. After another week, it's over. I mean, I don't want to say he's been canceled. The free market will make the decision, and he will be he'll be the Ted Nugent, and people will move on to other individuals. So with that said, I don't know if you like that one?
That was a good one. That was a keeper right
hey, listen, for those who watch us and those who listen to us know how hard it is for me to get a pat on the back from Jennifer Gunn.
But I will say that was a nugget of comedy right there.
Thank you, darling.
Comparing Ted Nugent to Joe Rogan is probably one of the best comparisons of two conservatives that have gone off the rail.
Exactly.
Didn't have to because of problematic things that they said.
I will be watching the Super Bowl. I know Jenny will probably, I don't know, Jenny, I was going to invite you, but, I know you love foosball. So anyway, I'll be watching the Super Bowl. I'm rooting for the Cincinnati Bengals. I've made the decision that I'm rooting for Cincinnati, even though I'm like, okay. Well, I'm an NFC guy. If anybody knows what that means, but I'm going to actually root for the AFC on the Super Bowl. And then, we'll be getting ready for next week. Next week's show is going to be a great show. Jenny and I are both Gen Xers, and we will ask each other the question, and maybe we'll have some other Gen Xers on the show that we know. Why are Gen Xers so angry and hate America? It's like an angry generation. So that's going to be next week's show. And then the week after, the last show of February 23rd, what is the dumbest American state? Texas or Florida? So we'll be talking about those two. Thank you so much for joining us. We want to thank the 27,000 people that have watched us on Facebook Live on our visual of our video podcast, and also the new people who are listening to us on our audio podcast shows. We want to thank you so much, and we will see you next week. Stay tuned. In about 15 minutes, if you want to know what we really think on on our show, Two Queers in a Truck, Jenny leads that show. We'll be on that one as well. So I will put the music on and we will say goodbye. All right. Bye, y'all. Thank you for watching us on Coffee and Ponducia. See you next week.
Be safe.
How was that? Great ending.
That was good. Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in and watching our show every week. We had a great show and talked about a plethora of subjects, including Mr. Rogan, that's on hot water, and the outdated filibuster, and so much more. Tune in next week for a Gen X show.
That's right. Thanks, Jenny. We'll see you next week.